Saudi Arabia, along with United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Egypt, severed diplomatic ties with Qatar. Yemen, one of Libya's rival governments led by Khalifa Haftar, and the Maldives joined later. The 7 countries accused the gas-rich nation of supporting terrorism as well as backing the region's arch-rival Iran. Doha denies the allegations, denouncing the action as predicated on lies. Flights to Saudi Arabia on the country's airways have been suspended, while Qatari visitors have been given 2 weeks to leave other Gulf states. Cabinet said marine and airspaces will remain open for import and movement. The cabinet also said, quote, "We took all the necessary precautions to ensure normal life." Meanwhile, the Qatar diplomatic rift has led to UAE-based airlines Emirates, Etihad Airways, and Fly Dubai to suspend flights to Doha until further notice. The Egyptian Civil Aviation Ministry also decided to suspend flights to and from Qatar as of Tuesday.
A tiny oil and gas-rich country whose size belies its significance. The freezing out of Qatar by key Arab neighbours who claim it's supporting terror groups is a global problem, not just regional. China's business ties with Qatar include building infrastructure for the 2022 World Cup. And Beijing wants diplomacy to prevail.
China hopes the relevant countries can properly resolve differences through dialogue and consultation so as to safeguard unity and promote regional peace and stability.
The US is another strategic ally of Qatar's, and it's arguably in a trickier situation. US President Donald Trump blames Iran for fostering instability across the Middle East with support for a number of radical Shiite Muslim groups. And that stance has helped him forge alliances with leading Sunni countries like Saudi Arabia and even Israel. The problem for the Trump administration is that Qatar supports Iran, and Qatar is a key partner for the US right now. 10,000 US troops are stationed in Qatar, and they're crucial for Trump's highest overseas priority, defeating ISIL. US officials don't see this tangible sign of support being compromised by the Qatar crisis.
I do not expect that this will have any significant impact, if any impact at all, on the unified fight against terrorism in the region.
Trump described his relationship with Qatar's leader as extremely good. He will need to ensure it stays that way to avoid this diplomatic crisis escalating. In
2013, a rivalry began between Egypt and Qatar following the ousting of Egyptian President and Muslim Brotherhood leader Mohammed Morsi. Cairo has designated the group a terrorist organization, while Qatar has opened its doors, providing the Muslim Brotherhood members and leaders with a haven. Qatar's support to the Brotherhood extended beyond Egypt to Libya. It supports the Islamists in the West, and Cairo backs the Eastern government. Last month, dozens of Arabs and Muslim leaders gathered in Saudi Arabia's capital, Riyadh, to meet with US President Donald Trump to cooperate in their fight against terrorism. There, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi urged them to restrain the countries which support terrorist organizations.
Where are the safe havens that are offered for terrorist organizations? How are they offered media presence through outlets that have accepted to become a propaganda platform for terrorist organizations? Unfortunately, there are countries involved in supporting and funding terrorist organizations and in offering them safe havens. There are also countries that refuse to share information that they have in database of the foreign terrorist fighters, even with the Interpol. A terrorist is not only the one who carries arms, but the one who trains, funds, arms, and offers a political and ideological cover.
Libya is the battlefield where this rivalry is shaped. Egypt and UAE have the backing of Saudi Arabia in this conflict. Recently, Egypt launched airstrikes against militants training camps in Libya's Derna. In response, Qatar hosted leaders of the Derna Mujahideen Council on Al Jazeera. To counter Qatar's media campaign that favored the regional opponents, the Saudis, Emiratis and Egyptians blocked Qatar-funded news websites and television networks.
Egypt believes that Qatar is playing a major role in the continuation of fighting in the region. It supports terrorist organizations with finances as well as military support in Libya and other places. Marshal Khalifa Haftar's latest statement about Qatar's activities in the country was the proof to that.
General Khalifa Haftar, the leader of the Libyan National Army, was the first to explicitly accuse Qatar of funding terrorists. On May 29th, Haftar stated that Qatar funds militants in Libya and send them there to get training.